Write it down, write it down. Check, check. Cool. We are good skis. Waja, go on this one. Go this way. Waja, waja. Yeah. Hello, hello. Welcome. We are live currently for y'all too on youtube.com/Tiffany Gordon Cosplay, and that is where I'm reading chat and answering questions. So if you want to say something or I don't know, ask something on what I'm working on, go over to YouTube. It is free, and that is also where all of my cosplay tutorials are if you want to learn to make your own cosplays. But if you're here on my main platform of YouTube, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you back. So yeah. Adam, welcome on. Yes, we are officially doing our first stream on Dark Magician Girl from Yu-Gi-Oh! It's been a long requested cosplay, and I finally done it. And I actually have a lot of it done already in like 2 or 3 days that I've been working on it. I'd say we're like 30 to 40% done with the cosplay. But yeah, Adam, also thank you for the legendary support of being a member here for 43 months. I really appreciate it. Much love, and as always, you'll be in the scrolly thing on the next stream, and I have to write it down on my piece of paper because I lost my booklet. I don't know where it went. So yeah. Remember. Got it. Thank you. Enreal, welcome on. Hello, hello. A little bit of updates. Didn't stream last week because I was trying to finish, and it is now available. My wing harness. Y'all have been asking for basic wing harnesses since 2018. And I finally did it. I have 2 versions. One is a lightweight for a lighter weight and smaller pair of wings, and the other one is for a more heavier set, larger wings. So 2 different harnesses, and I have kind of basic wing making videos, but I do plan on doing one more video about them. That'll be a comparison of both of them. I'll go into more detail of like how to hide the harness, what the differences are, the benefits of each one, and then like other things comparing. So stay tuned for that. That'll come in the next like 2 or 3 weeks, depending on when I decide to film it. Yes. But yeah, other updates. We do have a new sponsor for our EVA foam, which is Coscom Cosplay Supply, and they are providing me all of my foam materials going forward. So this cosplay is officially the first time I'm going to be using nothing but their foam. So they've already provided like, I have like a whole bunch. I can't even lift all of it, but a whole bunch of foam over here. I don't know if it even showed. And I really appreciate it. It's gonna help so much for me going forward for just making like costumes a lot faster, producing Yuki. No. The cats keep wanting to steal all my stuff. Say hello to Yuki. But yeah, so it's gonna really help, and all of my tutorials going forward will be recommending that foam to use, and that is going to be the specific stuff. It's great foam. They've got all your basic thicknesses of foam, 1 through 10 or 12, I believe, for EVA foam, as well as half and full round foam dowels. They have your triangle ones. They have huge foam dowels that are like big, which is great because I could not find those before. You're just a troublemaker. Yeah. She's so soft and clean. She got a bath yesterday, and now she's just beautiful and soft, but now she wants to be mischief kitty. So yeah, really appreciate them. I have some other stuff I'm gonna be testing out as other options for some of their specific products. They have one that is an alternative to Plasti Dip that's not a toxic one. So it's, I don't remember what it's called. Cosflex. We're gonna be testing that out on some foams, and I'll be doing tutorials on that and a bunch of other products to give other people other alternatives to different things to craft with that might not be as damaging to your lungs, I guess, because Plasti Dip, you have to wear a respirator. There's a lot of things you gotta do back and forth with protecting yourself. So yeah, good girl, Yuki. And then we also have another sponsor of FlashForge, which is a 3D printer company. They just sent me, and I did a small little video on all my platforms of their don't quote me on this, I think it's their 85X printer? Question mark? Something like that. I don't think that's the correct number, but me remembering things. Yeah. But that one is a printer that was a full 4-spool printer that goes into one head, and instead of it changing out to different ones, it just keeps printing. I'm doing a terrible job explaining that, but I'll have an actual full, thank you, full YouTube video review thingy on that in the next month, so thank you, Yuki. No, don't go back over there. I know you want to help, but you can't. I'm sorry. I have a pile of foam pieces, which I'm going to show in a bit, but they're all over there, so. Yeah, so that's been latest. Then the only other update is I still have one more convention coming up this next month. I think it's the 6th and the 7th of September. To look at the calendar. And that one's gonna be in Wichita Falls, Texas, the Retro Expo, Gaming Expo, I think. So you'll see me there. Wujja wujja. But anyway, we can start. So yeah, let me catch up real quick. Simply iconic, yeah. Well, so I am doing a Dark Magician Girl a little bit different, and I'll show y'all in a bit. I am doing it more off of an action figure, and I plan on doing it stylized, kind of like my Gundam. So, I'm really excited. Yeah. The blue and the pink. Yeah, the blue and the pink material. Surprisingly, when I did the guest video, or like the guess what cosplay I'm gonna making off of the materials, pretty much everybody got Loki, right? Even if they knew it already or didn't. Only 2 people knew Dark Magician Girl. And I get the blue, like they're a little more baby colors than what her actual outfit is, but this was the closest I could get. Without just airbrush painting everything. So, yeah. Yup. New permanent's cool, yeah. Favorite female, yeah. Honey Bro, welcome on. Happy Friday to you too. Yeah, the statue. Okay, so let me show you real quick. So this is the only like close to finished piece. So this is obviously, we're getting on the Hattie hat. So this is all EVA foam from Coscom's Cosplay Supply, and then I have it wrapped in the blue stretch fabric vinyl. So, same process that I did with the Gundam. All of these seams I'm going to be adding are pink strips to, which is what Yuki was trying to eat, and she's already added her lovely contribution of teeth marks throughout the piece. So, and this is a 10mm half foam dowels. And then basically I'll be covering the seams by gluing this over. So it'll end up being like that. And I'm really happy with how it's looking so far. I wanted it to be more of an action figure like. So that's kind of my goal. And I will have patterns for all of this, of course. But for people that don't want to cover it in fabric, you can still use it just the same, cutting it out of EVA foam and then gluing together a plastic dip painting, which would be ideally easier to do, but I want to go for this look. So that's kind of where I'm going. I know, so smooth, so smooth. The only thing is the seam in the back is a little, yeah, and that's something I just can never get rid of. There is a way where if you use a heat gun with this process and then you kind of use a flat tool, you can smooth it out some, which I already have, but you'll pretty much always have a line. So yeah, the only thing I'm gonna have to do is I'll probably go back, I'll try to color match with some airbrush paint, and then I'll paint it by hand just to kind of cover it a tiny bit more. But this is how the Gundam looked technically up close. So that's what we're doing. And we're gonna be attaching a lot of fabric today because I did another coat of glue last night. So with this process, it's a lot. It's very time consuming and it's a lot of glue. Like I'm using a glue can, like the largest, like I don't know what they're all, 5-gallon cans or something. I don't know. It's not the teeny one. It's not the size up. It's the biggest one that they have, at least at hardware stores. So that I go through pretty much all of it. And what you do, which I'll get out. Ha ha. So basically, I guess I could have done this one. Oops. It got out of my hand. So it only works when it's a fabric with 2 pieces. So it doesn't work with basic cotton fabrics and stuff. It has to have like a vinyl kind of thing on top. So it's like a sticker on the fabric. And stretch fabric vinyl is the best because it still stretches. So yeah, but basically you have to attach it to something, and I use these green things are basically the Cricut cutting mats, and they're sticky, and then you put the top side touching it, and then you have to do a coat of glue completely drenching it, and you wait like you wait for it to dry. I do a timer of 20 minutes just to make sure everything's done. And then you go back and you do it a second time because you have to do 2 coats. And same with all of your foam, you have to do 2 coats of glue. So you apply your glue, wait 20 minutes for it to dry, and then you do another. And so it's a very long process, but then that's how you get your pieces like this that you can cover. So yeah. But this is what we're going to be working on today. So yeah. But I'll show you kind of some of the pieces first before I get into our pile of things. So I get to do my show and tell because I haven't showed anything on social media yet. Because I've literally done this the last 2 or 3 days. So yeah. Surprise you with your crafts? Aw, thanks. But yeah, the Hattie hat and all of the dowel parts that'll just wrap around, so you can picture all of those pieces on it. It's gonna look good. It really is. I'm so excited. And then this is only part of the Hattie hat, so just picture the other side, but this is the part that attaches around like that, and then it will have all of the trim pieces on it. And then this piece, so this is technically one of the gauntlets, so it'll wrap around like that, and then it has the hand piece part that'll go there, and then we'll have this piece that attaches there, and then there are a bunch of gems. I'm just gonna get a few of them out, but with the new printer I've been using it to print all of these pieces, so I think this one, I believe, is the top one. So with these, I don't plan on covering them with the stretch fabric vinyl. I plan on cleaning them up with the Rust-Oleum sandable primer, getting rid of all the stair steps, and then airbrush painting them, because I want them to have that gem kind of iridescent glowy effect on some of them. So that's the goal. And then this part is technically her top part. Oh, I think it goes like that. Yeah. So this part will end up attaching there, and then I have like the back piece that'll attach to it, and then I have a trim that we're going to be covering today that's pink for it. And then these are part of the shoe covers. This one's probably my least favorite part just because it's very stiff here. But it just was weird to kind of sand it in the correct shape. So that's that piece. And then it'll have its trim at the bottom as well. And then the last piece, which is the sherbet flavor lollipop. And this is also printed on the new printer, so I was testing it. But basically, so that, which should fit in a suitcase. So I originally did the CAD work before I got the printer, and so I had scaled it for the Elegoo printer, not the Flash Forge. And the Flash Forge, actually the printing height is about an inch or two shorter than the Elegoo that I currently had. So the only downfall is both of these pieces technically the scale got pushed and shrunk a little bit. So it should be a little bit longer, but nobody's gonna know. Yeah, so just a little lollipop, sherbet flavor. Yeah. And all of the film that they sent me is all this random rainbow color, which I paint all of my 3D prints, so it doesn't matter, but in terms of cleaning up, it does make it a little bit harder for me to see. Yeah. So, I could technically, it's like a question mark. So yeah, that's what I have. The rest of the parts are all we're gonna be attaching today. But I am about like 30-40% done with the cosplay. Everything has been cut out of foam already. All parts are done just being covered in the fabric. The only parts I have not done yet, besides like cleanup of the 3D printed parts, are the cape and the skirt, the pink parts. I have not cut those out of fabric, and then the leotard, I have not cut that out of the fabric yet. So those are the only parts I haven't done. I've done the necklace already, and then this is it's not done yet, but the little gold belty thing, this and then the necklace, I plan on covering in Plasti Dip. So these are going to be the only parts that aren't covered in fabric and will be just the foam. So Plasti Dip and airbrush paint gold. But yeah. I'm pretty happy with it. Looks great. Love the colors. Thanks. Yee. Alrighty. So let us start attaching some stuff then. And I've yet to attach things like this. So you get to watch it live and watch me fail or watch it succeed. We'll see. Let me switch over. Also, for those that are watching on TikTok or on Instagram, I'm actually live streaming on youtube.com/TiffanyGordonCosplay, and that is where I'm reading chat and answering questions. So if you want to say something, go over to YouTube. It is free, and that's also where all of my tutorials are if you're interested in learning to cosplay. So yeah. Okay. And I did add the image, but we'll see. Maybe I want to move it up top next time. It's kind of an eyesore. We're learning well. I know. I mean, I've done this technique before, but I haven't done all of this technique. So it's kind of learning here and there. So we'll see. Oh, these are also the bottom boot covers, so the shoe pieces. So the gold circle part goes on here. I decided not to do one on the inside. Typically, when it comes to boots and things, if there are a piece on the inside, they cause issues with rubbing. When you walk, you hit them, they cause issues so bad. So a lot of times I avoid that. So I'm not doing one on the center, even though there is one. And technically there's a zipper on the inside. So that's why, I'll do it on this side. That's why it's like that. So it'll end up attaching to the shoe, and then I'll have the zipper part exposed. So that's the idea. Ideas mostly work. I'm like 90-95% of the time my ideas work. And then the other percentage is an absolute fail. Yeah. So. Let me see. How is the best way? And these parts also have the 2 coats of glue on them. So I'll have have to go back afterwards and rub off any of the extra exposed glue. And I did cut each of these longer on purpose, just to make sure everything was fine. Let's see if I do that instead. Yeah, that works better. Not too bad. How does the 3D printer compare to the Century Carbon? Get the Century Carbon. It's... I'll say a lot of it in my review video. So the Century Carbon, last time I checked, was a lot cheaper than the new printer. And things I'm not too thrilled of. Like, it prints fine for just a one printer. Like, if you have one spool on it, they're comparable. I say the Elegoo prints faster. In terms of having it depends on what you want to print. If you want to print pieces that you are not going to be painting, and you want them to be the color that the filament is producing, then the flash forge is the way to go. The downfall, which I've 3D printed a lot, I've had a bunch of different printers. This one has so much waste. Oh my gosh. So we're gonna use this as an example. This would technically be two colors on a printer. We've got the blue and the pink. Let's say they're all the same height. For it to print, it's gonna start with the blue, it's gonna print all of the blue. But to switch on that same layer, because it's not gonna print all the blue and then go back and print all the pink. It prints each layer. So each layer has 2 or 4 colors. It has to change out the filament. Now they're all connected, which is fine, which is great actually, into the one extruder head. But the issue is it has to poop out all of that filament every time. So you have these little towers that come out of the back, and all of my printers there might be like 1 or 2 little like small pieces, but not, I was filling up a trash can for printing a small piece this big, a trash can. So there is a lot of extra waste I did not like, and it has to do that per every change. And then also in terms of their slicer program, I could not get it to connect to the printer. It would not work whatsoever. Even when I had to put it on the thumb drive, it would not work. So it couldn't connect Wi-Fi wise, and it couldn't connect with the thumb drive for using the Flash Forge slicer. And also the location of where it inserts into reading it, like its port and everything, you have to actually pull off the spool, and it has to be hanging partly for your drive to sit in place. And it's like a terrible design that it did it on. I don't know why they didn't do it on the other side, because it interferes with it. And then, sorry, I'm going on a rant. So I ended up having to, like, I use Elegoo Slicer program for everything. It wouldn't connect with that either, unfortunately. It had the configurants for that specific printer, but it didn't, like, the printer just wouldn't work with it. So the one that I ended up using was let me get the correct word. I was close. Orca. Yes, thank you, Real. Sorry. It's like, had to think. I was close. But the Orca one was the one that I got to work with it. And I still could never connect with the Wi-Fi. So I had to do everything by drive. So that's downfalls of it. But if you want to do multi-printer, it's a lot more affordable than the Prusa. But the Prusa is definitely the best one that I've used. So that's kind of my rant. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, let me finish this one. But yeah, I'll go over a lot of that in the review video when it comes by. But I still, honestly, I love the Elegoo one. It, for rapid prototyping, I use over the Prusa, but for fine details and really large pieces, I'm still using my Prusa. Okay. So yeah, there we go. With this material, it's really about pressure and heat. So if something doesn't connect, you use your heat gun, and by using the heat gun, you're actually reactivating the glue, so it will then, you can push it together again and have it fuse better. Yeah. So there is that. And I'm gonna wait to cut these off because I want to be 100% sure with some testing on this. Just to make sure I don't like have to move it for some reason. So yeah. You said you're doing Loki after, yes. So Loki will be next. And that one, I have a specific image on my website if you're interested in which version of Loki. So yeah, and then not 100% sure on my next cosplay build because obviously I'm very shiny at the moment. I would love to do Moxie from Borderlands 4. I saw the reference images. Like I love Borderlands. I've played all the games. Huge fan. Never have cosplayed from it just because I'm not a good cell shader painter. Sorry. Hair. But with their newest cosplay guides, it really shows a detail of kind of where to apply like the cell shading, and that made me think, oh, I can do this because if I have, I can't make up cell shading, but if I have the reference image in front of me of what it exactly is, oh, I can replicate that easy. Just cell shading, I don't comprehend it in my head. So yeah. But that's not 100% because I still gotta make this cosplay and another one, and then we'll see if I find something else because I tend to do that. So, and I still want to do the solo leveling one, but we'll see when that happens. That one's a huge build. That one is not a, that's like a few months build, and I want to sit down and do leather work. It'll probably be, if I do that one, it'll probably be more in the winter time just because of, I want to do it all in leather, and with the seasons here, there's like 1 month that it just gets way too cold, even though I have a heated airbrush booth inside. Like if it gets below like 20 degrees, I really can't paint or do plasti dip. So that'll probably be when or if I do it, because leather work will be a lot of hand stuff of like carving and cutting out pieces and things. It's a unique choice to model the cosplay after an action figure instead of the anime character. I have a thing where I just attached my hair in here. I love like the action figure kind of figurines when it comes to characters. I like them more than a lot of the anime characters drawn because they tend to be a little bit more realistic to me. Also, when it comes to anime characters, I get really bored of cotton fabric. Everything is the basic cotton fabric, and this is one of those where I saw the action figure and I really wanted to do the same kind of technique as how I did my Gundam. And this was just like, ding ding, this is what I want to do. So I don't know how many people would want to do it this way. Like, you can easily do all of these pieces just with foam and paint them, because it's foam covered in fabric. Same techniques, so yeah. Alright, there's those two. Okay, and then we'll switch to the Hattie hat. Did you see any of the new WoW Midnight stuff? No. I haven't seen a lot. Like, I know that WoW has a bunch of new stuff happening right now, but I haven't looked at it at all. I've been distracted. I am so televisioned on what I've been doing. Like, I've been so much into playing Avionic Factor right now. Yeah, that's all I've been doing is cosplay and then that. So I'm a little out of everything. Rivals blowing up and making Marvel hero cosplays even more popular makes me so... Yeah. I still would like to do, from Marvel's Rivals, is it... Please correct me. PH, like, Cycles? I don't know her name. I am terrible at names. But her specific skin with, or like in Marvels where she's got the black straight bang kind of things that they're like chopped like that, and then she's got like the purple leotard and the sword, and oh, it's a gorgeous skin. I want to make it so bad. But it's pushed back a little. Okay, this one is here. So this one's going to be a little bit different because I have to make sure that they fit on a certain spot. Yeah. Isn't real leather expensive to make stuff out of? Yes, but I love leather, and leather is one of those things where if you know how to work with it, it's amazing. And it's not it's something that I try to use leather, like a small bit of it in every, yes, that one real, I don't know how to say that. It's the PSY, like, I don't know how that sounds. It's one of those with my spelling and reading problems I cannot do. But yeah, real leather, it can be very expensive, but I love leather. And it's something where, for Icarus, if I was to make it, I would want to make it out of leather because I feel like that would be the materials that would have been made with it, besides like metal kind of thing. But there is a way, there's something about airbrush painting veg tan leather that unless you have done it, you don't understand. It is amazing. And the colors are just, yeah. So that is my vision and my goal, with it. But, I mean, you don't have to use leather for your projects if you don't want to. You can always use, faux leather, but I really don't like faux leather. I don't like the look of it. Nothing against people that use it, just personally for my stuff, I'm not a big fan. And then Icarus would also be a personal build, where there are, for me with making cosplays, it is my business, my company, And a lot of my costumes and stuff that I make are more what I consider to be a community build, where I'm making it more, like I like the character and everything, but I'm making it more for the community so they can build it afterwards and follow my tutorials and patterns and things, where like Icarus, if I'm gonna make that one, or Igrius, sorry, not Icarus, Igrius, that one would be a personal build, and at that point, I don't care. That one is how I want to make it, and it's gonna be made that way. And I might have patterns, I might not. I don't know. I might not have tutorials. It's just gonna be like, that's how Seth was for me. Seth was a personal build from Trinity Blood. I really didn't think people were going to want to make it, except for a few, and surprisingly, a lot of people did. A lot of crazy people that were like me. So it'll be cool once they finish it in like half a year, because that's like a huge build. So I'll say one thing about doing this process is you do still have the two colors here instead of the pink at the bottom. If I wanted to, I could have tried to wrap it, but it's just a little eh. And I'll have to go back and do some touch-ups because it's not fully connecting here, so we'll have to go back. So not too bad though. Psylocke, maybe? It's still the SY, like, it's a weird, it doesn't make sense. You're not a cosplayer yourself, but you just love the crafts that come from customers. Aw. Well, I'm happy to have you here. Do you have any like, do you build anything or game them? Something? Or are they the mecha builds, like the model ones? Those, I love seeing those. I don't understand how people make their own version. Okay, that helps me, calamari. That way of spelling it. That's the dyslexia and everything and the, ugh. Have a great, thanks. Want to use leather to make adult Simon from jacket, but yeah, I always recommend when doing things out of leather, you have to do samples first. You gotta make a mock-up before you do the leather, and then do small builds to try to learn the techniques. Don't go full on, because leather is definitely a not forgiving material. You mess up, that mess up stays there forever because you can't hide it. And then also, depending on the leather that you use, depends on, like, if you want to sew it, you can sew leather, but there's so many different, you have to have sewing needles for your machine. Also, depending on the type of leather will depend on if you can sew it in your machine, or if you buy an industrial specific or leather sewing machine, which is you can hand stitch it too, but that's also even more time consuming, and you have to get the special needles and the special wax thread for it. So there's a lot that goes into it, and I appreciate it so much. So, but yeah, I recommend, if you do want to get into leather, so Tandy Leather, which is a leather specific wholesale, that's where I get all of my leather. Never buy leather from Amazon if you want to buy leather in person, because each hide, it's like human skin. Each person has different freckles and different skin tones and different, like cows. A lot of them get branded. So that's where they have like the metal and they heat it up and they brand their bum to say this is this person's cow. And you'll have hides that have a spot there. You'll have some hides that have a hole. Some are like, they have roughly, like, in terms of fabric, this is a yard of fabric, a yard of leather. It's not technically called that, but in terms of comparing. But the problem is, some, like me standing next to another person, even though if we're both a size medium, they might be a different proportion in like the bust area or in the bum area. That's the same with hides. So different hides might be longer or shorter, but are still considered a yard. Not necessarily a yard, but again, comparing. Or have a branded mark. So I always recommend getting leather in person, pulling it out, laying it, because they allow you to do that, so you can inspect the leather and see, oh, well, if I have my pattern piece and I want it to go here, but there's a brand or a hole here, that one's not going to work. So probably don't want to get that hide. But Tandy also has like kits for you to learn. So if you want to make a small little satchel, like a little bag, they have all of the pieces already cut out a lot of times with the holes. They'll sometimes provide like thread, or they'll say you need to get these tools to slowly build up and teach you how to make that. So I recommend that path. And then go for the big buys and save up, because leather is expensive. So yeah, this is our hattie hat. So this is this side. That'll go there. And then the little swirly part, I did 3D printed. So I'm gonna paint that and everything. So yeah, again, I'll wait to cut those parts. There. Okay, let's make it a drink of water. Also, thank you guys for being here. If you're new to the channel, I'd love to have you as part of our community. So like the video and subscribe. If you are on TikTok or on Instagram, I'm live streaming on youtube.com/TiffanyCornerCosplay. So yeah. Heavily invested into history, firearms, and military. Oh, yes, welcome. I used to be the tank commander for a Sherman tank, and I used to do World War II reenactments, so love it. Grew up with my whole family being World War II reenactors, with my dad being a British paratrooper and my mom being French resistance. So yeah, the whole education part just came normal because I had to do that with World War II reenacting growing up, and now I do it with cosplay. So, alrighty, next pieces. Okay, so now we're gonna cover parts in fabric. I did everything for attaching wise that I had already pre-glued. So these are more foam rods, half dowel rods, and then these are our fabrics. And the nice thing is they don't attach to themselves, and they don't attach to your foam unless you apply pressure or heat. So. Okay, that piece. Put my weights down. Also interested in World War II weapons and vehicles. Visit a lot of museums and history. You being in France have so many different places to go. There was so when I went over there with my family for the 60th anniversary of D-Day, we ended up looking at a lot of the beaches and seeing the bunkers, and we ended up coming across a French World War I, it wasn't a bunker, it was like a fort in the middle of the sand dunes. There was no plaques, no trails to it. It was amazing. That was obviously many years ago, but there's so many stuff there and so many museums that I visited when I went there with my parents. Alrighty, so I'm going to... Technically, I can just have one down and do the other one after. But, so this is our foam. So it already has our 2 coats of glue on it. And our fabric already has the 2 coats of glue also on it. And basically, like, if I do this, it's not going to attach. Which is different if you're applying foam to foam. So I'm going to align it, and this piece of fabric is intended to cover both, so I gotta make sure to have enough room. But I pretty much will cover it, and then I kind of pull up, because when I glue, I don't go all the way to the edge. I go slightly, because I still want to use my mats again. And then I just want to make sure that it is going to be fully covered. And then you're not going to push it. You want to start in one spot and then you're going to work your way out. Because this is a V, I'm going to start here and work on one side, and then I'm going to go back and work on the other. Because when you press it into the foam, and because it is a stretch fabric, it is going to slightly move on you. So you don't want to just push all over, because if you do that, when you slowly smooth it all flat, you'll end up having air bubbles. So you always want to go from one side to the other. So we're going to kind of push here. So by adding pressure there, it's now stuck. So now we're going to push in one direction. And I'm only attaching because these are round, just the top part, and I'll go back afterwards doing the rest of it. So this side is attached. So now I'm going to go back, and because this is coming up a little bit, I'm going to put that down. I'm going to do the same thing going the opposite way. And I'm not pulling the fabric. I don't want to intentionally stretch it, but it does stretch on its own slightly. So there. Now our base is done. So I'm going to now kind of push it so it'll go along the edge ever so slightly. And the same thing, one direction, and I'm kind of pushing so it'll connect downward. So that's our inside part, which I'm gonna like do better once we cut it. And I'm gonna do this side. So now we have it slightly covered, and then I'm going to trim it, knowing that because it's not fully covered here, I do want to have a little bit of extra room. But I want to have enough room for my next piece as well. I will put that to the side and we'll do the next one. Okay, that, and we will repeat again. Just make sure we'll cover everything. Okay. of this is to not have air bubbles. And then corners are always kind of the trickiest. I'll rotate that ever so slightly. See if that helps a little. So is anybody watching any new shows recently or animes? I did it said it was new on Netflix. It was not a new show though. But it was like a vampire one that had 2 seasons and I binged it. It was pretty good, but also interesting with the everything with the storyline and incest, kind of typical anime stuff. Alright. But that, I started watching the newest season of Dress Up Darling as well. But I think that's pretty much it for anime for me. And we'll see how much I do this on the table, because I typically do this sitting and watching a show in my lap. So it's a little harder to sit and show off on the table. Nothing in here, and I'm looking forward to season 2 of Fallout. I wasn't a huge fan of season 1. To me, it wasn't Fallout to me. Like, yeah, they had all of the stuff, but it wasn't, I don't know, it just seemed like a show or a movie. It didn't seem like the real Fallout, kind of like from loving the games. It didn't seem too much like that for me. Like watching a cosplay video almost. Vampire Night, yes, thank you. The one word came away. Yeah. Do they... So I watched the 2 seasons that were on Netflix. Is there more, or is that it? Because I could see them ending it there. Or if they wanted to make it more. Okay, so I kind of pushed it down on the sides more so you can see how we're a lot more shape with it. And that makes it where we can go in and kind of cut more. They released another Gundam Wing Story, but I think it's just an internet rumor. They have so many Gundam stuff, I don't know. I never did watch the 2nd season of or I think they did a 2nd season. What was the one with the girls? Was it, Witch Mercury? Goblin Slayer is a decent anime with the shirt. Intense season. Yeah, I had that on my list. I think the reason I didn't watch it was because it was only subbed. And I do prefer to watch dubbed anime, or I'm sorry, subbed anime more than dubbed. But when I watch anime, typically I'm working, and I can't read while I work. So I typically like to listen to it in English, and I think if I remember right, that one was one that they didn't have it at the time. I know Dr. Stone came out with a new season. I watched the first 2 seasons, I believe. I liked it a lot, but then they went to we're gonna be pirates on the sea kind of thing, and I was done. Jessup Darling and Don Don Don. I haven't watched that one. Watch Takopi, the new Penny and Stocking. I don't know that one. Oh, there's the second season also of, it's another one of the reincarnated, but he got reincarnated as a vending machine. It's like a stupid long title. The second season of that one came out, I know. First season was good. I don't know if it deserves second season. We'll see. Anyway, how I'm cutting this though is the scissors. I'm having it directly flat. So this part being flat when I cut ensures that I'm at the same angle, like that, so I can cut the fabric. And then I'm trying to make sure not to cut too far because I don't want the black to show. Hola! How am I doing today? I'm doing good, thank you. How about yourself? We're currently working on my latest cosplay, which is Dark Magician Girl from Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm doing it a little different than a lot of my cosplays. So I'm still using all EVA foam from for all of like the pieces of the character and everything, but instead I'm covering everything in stretch fabric vinyl. So we're kind of going through that right now. Trim that. Then I'm just gonna go back in, make sure they all have pressure. Reincarnated as a finisher, yeah. It's a good, funny anime because he doesn't reincarnate, like he's not just one vending machine. He can turn into any vending machine. Insert cool to all the way, it should be in the red light district kind of one. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to do the little puzzly thing. I'm still live on TikTok. There we go. And then I'm just gonna check real quick to see if there's any little bits I gotta trim. Okay, that one is done. And then the first season of Machine, it was kind of cliffhanger, so that's, yeah, but it was, I guess I'll say, it seemed like a fun type of anime that didn't need to continue, I guess. I completely forgot the ending though. It's been a while. It was a fun one. Honestly, for like a shits and giggles kind of cosplay, that one would be fun to do the blonde-haired girl holding like, you make a cardboard box vending machine, you know? It'd be so cool. But yeah, here's this piece, all wrapped. Bloop, bloop. Put to the side. Yes. You got what I meant by that then. Good, good. I've actually been trying, so on Netflix, I love my K-dramas, my J-dramas, my, like, I love all of the foreign dramas, the love story ones, and I watch those to fall asleep to at night, so I like watch for an hour in bed, just because my brain doesn't shut off, and I want something that's completely different, not like anime, I don't want any like action stuff, but the little love story kind of things in a different language kind of hypnotizes me and helps me fall asleep. And pretty much, I have categories on Netflix now that are like inspired by all of these K-dramas, all of these J-dramas, all of these, and like I've got to the point where I'm waiting for new episodes to come out of certain shows because I've watched almost every single series on there. I'm re-watching right now, which I highly recommend if you're interested in any of that kind of stuff. Hotel de Luna, or Hotel Luna, or something like that. Really, really good. Yeah, it's like a hotel for the dead. And it's not funny. Currently watching Water Magician, New Saga, Secrets of Silence Witch, and oh, I don't know any of those. Explain more, please. Okay. Got this one. And then we will trim. Oh, I do have some fun plans for the weekend, which if anybody else has plans, please share. But they're doing this weekend a pirate festival, which they're very small, like, and back in 2008, those years, and like, don't get me wrong, I love getting my photo taken and everything. I love talking to people, but it is nice to not have anybody know who you are. Well, some people still recognize me, but like to go and just have fun with friends and hang out in costume, where I can't really do that at conventions anymore. Pretty much when I go to a convention, it's non-stop getting stopped and getting pictures taken care of, like taking of me and everything, and it's kind of work, where when I do like the Pirates Festival and the Renaissance Festival, those are like personal, have fun kind of things. And I really enjoy, when we did Ren Fair earlier this year, one of my friends, he wore like, he went all out on a plague doctor that he got. And he was getting stopped for pictures and he was so happy. And it was like, oh, this is great. It's not me. And it was fun to watch somebody else get that. Because I remember that feeling when I first started cosplaying, when people would want to take my picture. And to see somebody else do that it's really nice to see the twinkle and like, ah. And it was nice that it wasn't me. And I could just like watch and be like, and have fun and just go and drink and be silly and not care. Like conventions, I still feel like I have to be mindful of everything I do, because everybody is always filming, everybody is always like, somebody, whatever you say, if you're at a booth or anything, somebody can use it against you technically. And I hate thinking that way, but I've had so many bad experiences with people. Like people that will come and want to take a picture and then they'll flash a sign of their company for some Bob place. See Bob's here? Bob's, yep. So I have to be careful with things like that, and always like, I can't relax. And it's unfortunate, but that's why I like the Renaissance festivals now, because I feel like I could just go there and not worry. So yeah, but Silent Witch is about this master witch who was so shy she invented casting without words, but some people don't know that. Like it so far? Okay, I'm gonna write it down. I'll check it out. I just stuck to the table. Wow. Silent witch. Nothing crazy, but going to DragonCon. Oh yeah, I forgot that one's coming up. I've seen a lot of people getting their cosplays ready for that. I have yet to do DragonCon. Water Magician is an isekai. The guy wanted a peaceful life with magic, but of course he gets wrapped into adventure. As much as I like that genre, I kind of don't want to start any new ones. Not right now. I'm a little done with it right now. This kind of sucks to hear it. Yeah. Can I just have it share crazies? Have you seen any of Dexter? So I've seen all of Dexter except for the latest 2 new series. Like I've seen the one about his son, the Resurrection, and I think there's one other one. Those are specifically, is it Showtime or with? It's like I had Paramount at the time, but you had to upgrade to another thing, and I never did it. So I'm waiting till like maybe it's all done and then I'll binge it. But Dexter, I really liked it. It was good. And I think it'd be cool perspective to see like how he got into it. So DragonsCon is on your same day con list? Or someday? Yes. Well, someday both of us will go together. Yeah. Having a lot is yes. They have quite a bit. Yeah. There was some that I was watching. There was one where, oh, what was it? I don't even know. They're all basically the same. I'm just not even gonna say it. There's too many that I'm probably like gonna confuse. Like this one, it's gonna sound like this one because it's this and this. Yeah. Yeah. One day. So I would love to do with you, Honeyfro, one day a group cosplay, and we can go to DragonCon together. Yeah. Just for fun. Like I loved how you did your fairy stuff with everybody. I want to do that too. But every time I've tried, like, I stopped doing, so I've tried doing group stuff in the past, but it always failed. I was the only one to always make it. Everybody else was, nobody showed or nobody made their costumes. Like, okay, cool. But I would love to do that. Yeah. You seen a manga about a celebrity in the fantasy world? Don't remember the name of it, but I don't think there's an anime. There is one. I have no idea what the name is, but there is one. There was an ad I saw for one, and it was these 4 high school students that were like Japanese high school girls with their smartphones, and it was like I got transported into another world with my smartphone, and they got transported into the middle of a battle, and then we're like trying to fight people with their phones, and like okay, interesting. Hey, when group cosplayers don't make it out on the, yeah. One day. But you're like my cosplay friend that I want to hang out with more. I love seeing you at, I was gonna say Capcom, but it's not Capcom. C2E2, sorry, other C word. Good soup, not, sorry, yes. But yeah, I wish we got to hang out more. So that's the goal, another convention. I want to actually we gotta do dinner sometime. Recap of the manga on YouTube, saw it a while back. Okay, what else we got? Where is this piece? What is this one for? Oh, okay. Sorry, I have like a ton of fabric on the ground and I'm just trying to figure out what goes to what. Okay, we're gonna do this. So these are our next pieces. Gotta make room. And I think I'm pretty much, well, I still need it. I'm gonna put it over here, I guess. You can go there. I'm gonna drink some water. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I agree. By the way, I love your name. What, for this wig? So, I kind of haven't decided yet with the wig for this one. I kind of go back and forth. Like, I do want to do some, so she obviously has some whoosh, whoosh magic going on with the wig. But I kind of go back and forth between doing just like some basic style, still with long hair, more of a prettier side, rather than a helmet wig, because her hairstyle, which helmet wig is basically a hard shell that is, you put it on and when you take it off it's the same kind of shape. Because I want this one to be a convention cosplay that I go to conventions with, that is out of the question. So it's probably going to be more of a pretty, like, hair down, and then I have stylized bangs and kind of like, think of more 2000s emo girl. That's kind of what it's probably going to turn into. So that way I can go to conventions, because she already has this huge hat, which is going to take a lot of room in a suitcase, as well as all the other foam armor. So if I'm doing a 3-day convention to pack, it's going to be a bit difficult to have other things in it. So, yeah. Yep, all over. So, okay, so these are all pieces need to be covered in pink fabric as well. These are, this one's for the skirt. This one is for, she has like the arrow right here, and then this one is for the back arrow. So, let me see. Actually, it's just gonna be easier if I just take all of this fabric off, so they're not all in random spots. Oh, static. Black. Okay, you go there. And then these are going to be easiest to put on a mat. So I have to be really careful, because when I was doing the dowel rods, some of these ended up ripping some, so I gotta be really careful, because this is only 1 millimeter thick foam. And I have not actually worked with 1 millimeter, I've only worked with 2 millimeter. I'm gonna try a few different things. It's like I could heat it up, but then it's gonna cause a sticky nightmare. And I was trying to do it this way because I wanted these pieces to be a little bit more stiff. But this is we're seeing how it goes. And if it doesn't work, then I'll just do it as a normal sewing piece. But because this is cardboard underneath, it's fine because I can kind of cut the cardboard. It's a wee bit stick though. I don't recommend using spray adhesive for this technique though. I have tried it on some and it can do a temporary hold, but spray adhesive ends up, it doesn't hold very well long term. And it does end up giving more bubbles. Yeah, 1mm is definitely more fragile, just because it's so thin. Like you can see here how it's basically like paper, but like tissue paper. That's probably a better description of it. It's just a bunch of arts and crafts here, don't you know? I think that'll be fine. We'll see. And you gotta be careful too not to pull too hard because 1mm foam will stretch, which is also bad. Stuck a little bit. Okay, there we go. So there's that piece. And I'm gonna real quickly go and blow my nose. So, back in a sec. Thanks guys for watching. I used the restroom as well. Okay, continuing. let's do the small arrow. I'd rather just like get these off, so make sure I can work with other things better. Ideally, which I think is, I can, I would like to have this finished in time for my next convention. The Wichita Falls one in Texas, the Retro Gaming Expo. Is there a convention I've always wanted to go to? I would love to go to Gamescom, in person. That's happening right now. It is one I've always wanted to go to. I'd say a dream con used to be BlizzCon, but now I've been to it. But yeah, Gamescom, technically I was a judge online for their cosplay competition when they did, when the COVID was happening. But I have yet to be there, so. I'd like to do Dragon Con one year, but it's not a... I don't really know much about it besides it being a huge week-long party. Where Gamescom is, like, I love games. Like, hardcore gamer with things, and I would love to go, not just to see all their displays and things, but I prefer gaming conventions, honestly. They're so much fun for attending for me. Do I have any cosplays I want to make? I mean, I'm interested in the Moxie one right now as a personal build, and then I'm also interested in the Irius from Solo Leveling. A dream cosplay one day would be Violet Evergarden. Reason I have not done that one is that is a huge sewing build, and that I love that anime. I've not watched any of the movies though, because when I decide to make that cosplay, I will go and watch them so I can be inspired all over again. But it is a very complicated, like, I want that one to be perfect, and I personally don't think I have the skill level for that yet. So it's forever being on my one day list. No Voltron. No. Bad reel. No. I'd say Caspian is bleeding onto you. Or whatever the term is. I want to make also Alphonse from Full Metal Alchemist. The full-on armor build. I want to do it. That one just seems so much fun to me. I love armor builds. Foam armor builds they're so much fun for me. Because foam is easy for me to work with. Like, I mean, you'll see my nightmare. Making that so fast. I can do that with Alphonse. But it'll be a one day. I know somebody had to say it. What else? I don't know other ones right now. I mean, I'd love to do... I forget the main character's name from Kill la Kill, but her final transformation where she has the wings, the like fire wings. But that one is if I make it, you'll never see me in person with it because it is a bit she's a bit hanging out all over the place. Yeah. Have a blast with a Marine from Warhammer 40k. I considered doing, I think she's from it. I'm pretty sure it's a 40k Warhammer, and she has large wings, and she's got like the crest, like cross on her. Gonna pull up to comment the whole. It'd be awesome. It'd be awesome. Yes. Oh, lost my train of thought. Sorry. Yeah, the large wings and everything. I found a figurine of it that I absolutely loved more than any other ones. But the problem, so sometimes I have issues with doing certain characters if it is like a fan art kind of one, just because one, I'd want to make sure I get their permission kind of thing. But it's also, that's what it was. It was a fan art drawn version. It wasn't a figurine. And I would want to find who drew it, ask permission. But the other thing is, because I make patterns off of characters, it seems a little like it's a fine line. So there's other artists like I'm terrible at names. Alexandra. No, Hannah. I think. Yep. We're watching my little hamster brain trying to think. Somebody will get it for me. She's a cosplay, like, yes, I got the words kind of. Hannah Alexander. Yeah, there. I was close. With her, she does it where, which I totally respect, where if you're going to cosplay something, she asks you to politely, like, either sub to her on Patreon or buy a print or something to support it, and then obviously you want to tag who the creator is, the artist. I'm all for that. But then if I am creating a cosplay that I am then planning and intending to sell patterns from, it's a fine, because of that part, I don't know if I would do it. Like, as a personal build, I'm all for it. But for something where, like, my brand is more, like, trying to help other people make this, I would want to, like, talk, if we'll use her as an example. If I was wanting to make something and then sell patterns off of it, I would want to talk to her and be like, okay, if I do this, you get, like, I don't know, 20% or whatever. I'm not, oh, fuck. No! We'll see if I can super glue that part. I ripped it ever so slightly. Me going on a rant and not paying attention. Grump grump. But it's a fine line that I would, yeah. So that's why I kind of didn't do the Warhammer 40. It was a beautiful one that I loved. I still love it very much, but I went on that same kind of thought process. So, I don't know. Yes, and that person too. The Ryuko. Right. The names. No! I'm gonna do a tiny bit of super glue on the back. You can see here how it's already stretched a little, so I'll have to be concerned with that. Ask her permission and give her something. Yeah. Oh! Yeah, I did see that are you doing that just, are you doing that one as a group or just on your own? I did see you were doing the Cubone one. I didn't know it was off of her design. Yeah, this is my only thought is I might have stretched this, so. Ah, welcome to the community. Glad to have you here. Okay, we're gonna just put that to the side temporarily. You can live over there. Then we will grab one of our sticky sheets. But yeah, she is beautiful. All my phones are being taken care of. I'll see if I can find later on an image of her thing, so. On your own and at leisure, you hope to have it done by November for ColossalCon. Nice. Yeah. More water, it is toasty. Cheers, guys. You can also see my mess in the background. I had to move so you can see right here. That's actually Olga 2.0 with my apron over her because I didn't want YouTube to flag her since she is indecent right now. Not having a cosplay on her. Okay, so this one is for those. And then this one is for the 2, and that one's for the long one. So. And because these are so thin, I'm gonna just place them both at the same time. Excuse me. But yeah, the 40K, I get that request a lot, actually. One day I will do it, but I've never played any of those games, or their figurine things, so it's not like I try to cosplay things that I actually watch or I like. So that would be like, if I like the design I would, which I thought about it, but yeah. I don't have nail polish remover. Give me a break. No, I don't paint my nails except for cosplay, and this was when I did my magic photo shoot, and now it's there. I'm not a princess. I don't get my nails. I only went to like a thing and got like a manicure with my grandma when I was a kid, but I don't know anything about it. I'm not a girly girl on that side. Much less I'll just airbrush paint and it'll be fully covered in like a minute. Okay. Make sure everything is good. Yep. Okay, we're gonna start at the bottom. So you can see here how it's started to bubble. And so that's why you don't go around. You go from one direction upward. I did not want to attach that there yet, but it is. Okay, that is done. So now I want to cut this. It is slightly tacky to it. devices with air bubbles for the screen protector, isn't it? Wait, what? Oh, I missed a bunch of stuff. Sorry. You're a queen, not a princess. Well, thank you, I guess. I don't know. I'd rather be a bunny overlord. Ooh, we were close to cutting that. Oh my gosh. Okay. But yeah, welcome on, Ronnie. Sorry, let me catch up. No nail salons in the reenacted world. Yeah, well, there's nobody with blue hair too. That was the one thing when I moved from Texas to Nebraska. I could have a non-normal color hair because I was no longer doing World War II reenacting. So. You're now listening to 101.tiff, the sound of fabric going on foam. It's been a long time since I've done that. I'm glad you remember it, Real. Faux battle damage. Yeah, I guess. But yeah, the bunny over. So, bunnies are my favorite animal, which is why I had Ches. I always wanted one. And my dad, when I was little, he'd always want to call me his little princess, and I hated it. So he'd always call me his little bunny. And it's like, little bunny overlord now. Like, yeah. I never wanted to be a princess. I was never a girly girl. This is the most girly I've been. I was a very much tomboy. Okay, this bugs me that this has this spot now. Where that cardboard came off. So this part, I'm going to trim a little bit, but it will need another coat of glue, so I'll have to do 2 coats, and then I will end up, after that, folding it over. And it doesn't need to cover the back, I just need to fold it, and then I'll end up attaching this to the rest of the outfit. But we will just trim it up. This is kind of how I did all the other spots. No, not like making a cosplay, but like in terms of just my own personal life. Trim. This will be parts for me to glue tomorrow because I wanted Dave to not have to wash my hair. Because I pretty much, every time I do gluing or I airbrush paint or anything, because I'm using chemicals and things, I always wash my hair. But I would love one day to not wash it, which is why it fades so fast. But that's also why I do my own hair. And I don't go to a salon. It is ready for the next coat of glue now. Ta-da! Okay, and then this one I have to reposition because I did it wrong. It should not be stuck though. Okay. Except for maybe a tiny bit there. matches the mess up. Move it forward. Okay, we're good there. And thanks guys for watching. I hope you are enjoying the stream. If you are on TikTok or Instagram, I'm actually live streaming on youtube.com/TiffanyGrayCosplay, so head over there if you want to say something. It's also where all of my cosplay tutorials are. It does not want to stick to this pot. The other part, the V part, was part of the skirt. This one is, it hangs down from the breast area, and then the long arrow attaches on the back. Trim it up. Caspian, welcome on. Sacrifice 2 lurkers in defensive mood to summon. Nice. How are you doing today? Hope work wasn't too bad. Doing tons of attaching parts in glue. Well, not applying glue, but attaching gluey pieces. And I think instead of trimming this one, I'm gonna leave it as is. So it'll not move around as much for me. And then I'll trim it once I have the back glue on it. But yeah, so let me place that one. Yeah, because it's definitely having some issues with sticking. Let me see. I might have to stick it to masking tape instead. Dark Magician Tiff. Yep. It is almost time for me to replace these again. Every few months I get a new set because they're not too bad, and for the amount that I use them, I don't mind destroying them. I end up getting the off-brand ones, not the Cricut ones, just because I'm not actually using them for Cricut mats. I use them for sticking. They're also really great for if I have a pattern, putting it on the sticking side so it lays perfectly flat. It makes it a lot easier, and because it has a grid already, you don't have to put a ruler in your image because each of these are an inch by inch. And so it helps for when you put it into, so I put it into either Adobe Illustrator or I put it in my CAD program just because drawing is a lot easier for 2D lines in a 3-dimensional program for some reason. But it makes it where I can scale having this 1 inch. When I put the image in, I do my line in the CAD program of 1 inch, and then I will scale my image to fit that line. So yeah, this is my go-to. It makes things so much easier rather than having your table and you have to put tape down or tape the pieces down and they're all kind of bubbly. So More water. Okay, and then this one. The non-sticky one again. It says this one has a lot more glue. I forget what I used it for. Oh, I think I used it for Seth because it had so much of the gold trim and I had to stick it down and I couldn't use masking tape because the masking tape peeled off the gold. Yeah, that's what it was. You can clean them too. You can wash them, but when you use contact cement glue on it, it's not so great. All right. Make sure it's all laying correctly. Okay. Definitely shows that spot, but it won't be too bad at least. It's on the back. I gotta remember that. Oh fuck. I pulled it over a little. There we go. Okay, that side's done, and the other side. Lift this up because it's for the two sides a little issues, but not too bad. Almost done with this. There we go. Okay. That one's done. wavy, it's because it's going to be sewn on, or not sewn, but attached to the other part. And just like the other one, I'm only going to trim the outer part, make it easier. I will say this technique, there's a bit of waste with how much you have to add glue, so glue definitely adds up. Glue and the fabric are pretty expensive in terms of like comparison of just working with foam and painting, in my opinion. But if you can get it correct, it does look really nice and sharp. Okay, there's that one. I don't think I can fit it on the other thing, so we'll attach it to here. And then that piece is ready for glue. And then the only other piece I have for attaching are these two pieces, but honestly, I kind of want a break. So I think that might be where I end the stream today. Let me go out to this. So yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, love to have you as part of our community. So like the video and subscribe. I will try to stream again next Friday. Next Friday will technically be my con crunching weekend, so we will see. Most likely we'll be working on this, or I won't stream because I'm having to finish it. Because ideally I'd like to take this to my convention in 2 weeks. So yeah. But happy I actually have to show a little bit of the process, because this is one of those that I wasn't sure I'd be able to, just because it's a lot of gluing, and I don't typically glue on stream anymore because I have my spray booth downstairs to help with all of the chemicals and things, and yeah. But anyway, thank you guys. Thank you also Adam for the remember. I appreciate the support, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. For some. Oh, what button is it? I haven't done this in a while. Oh.